My name is Carmack, and today I'll be showing you how to do a dolly zoom, but with the 3D camera in After Effects. You can see here, I'm doing it with the Scream painting. And the dolly zoom is essentially when someone's walking back with the camera. So the camera is moving back in space, but at the same time, you're zooming in with the camera, and the phenomenon of a camera moving backwards while zooming in distorts the background in your face, and it gives you this really cool look. It's a classic film technique. And so now I'll be showing you how to do it with the digital camera in After Effects. Oh, and before we get started, I gotta let you know that this video is sponsored by Squarespace. Okay, so, all right, here we are in After Effects. I'm just gonna recreate the Scream one that I did. So if we look through the timeline, we have the Scream just shaking his hands on his face. And I'm gonna switch this to 2 views. I'm not gonna show you how to set up this 3D scene. I have plenty of tutorials on how to do that. I'm just gonna show you how to use the 3D camera in a specific way, and it will apply to any type of project that you do with a 3D camera. So this will be good general knowledge. So you can see here we have my 3D camera, and I can fly around the set I've created. Look, it's pretty cool. So I've perfectly recreated the painting of the Scream, but in 3D space. And so what we wanna do is have the camera back up like this, but at the same time have the camera zoom in. So you don't really change the frame, but what's changing is the distance and space. All right, so let's click on our 3D camera and let's drag it close to our subject. I'm gonna hit P once I'm selected on the camera to drop down the position keyframes. And if I select on position and create a keyframe right here, and then maybe like 10 seconds into the composition, you just drag the Z position of your camera and you have it come backwards. Okay, and the shortcuts for jumping between keyframes is J and K, and so you can hit J and see your first, and K and see your last keyframe. So you can hop between these to see the 2 different views. If that doesn't make sense, it's because I haven't taught it yet. Here we go. Sorry, I don't know what I'm doing. So if we watch this back, you can see our camera is flying backwards. We have created these 2 position keyframes, and so the camera is always moving this way. So now what we'll do is if we drop down our camera layer and drop down camera options, you can see that one of our options right here at the very top is zoom. If I just like crank that up, you can see what's happening in the active camera. We are zooming in with the camera. Okay. All right, so now that we have discovered the zoom function, you can see here we have our camera just slowly panning back. What we're going to do is create a keyframe exactly where our first position keyframe is for zoom. So click that, and then if we hit K to jump to the next keyframe, you can use the J and K keys for reference. We're gonna make the second zoom keyframe to match the framing of our first Scream here. Okay, so let's crank the zoom all the way up. And if we ever want to see how close we are to the original, we hit J to jump to the first keyframe. All right, so I need to be way more zoomed in. You just got to crank it up until it looks similar. You kind of just want the framing to stay the same from start to beginning, and that's how you get the cool distortion effect with the background. All right, what does that look like? J? Ooh, that's pretty close. All right, zoom in a little more. All right, J, K, J, K. Oh, almost there, almost there. I think that's almost it. Wow. It's basically like they started and stopped in the same position. And that's all with these 2 zoom keyframes. So now let's watch it back and see what happens when you move the 3D camera backwards in space while zooming in with it. Boop. You see what's happening? The camera is not moving, but the background is getting distorted. He's going crazy. So let's watch that back. And so now if we watch it back, you can see the Scream is freaking out while the background is getting distorted. I don't know why his hands don't keep moving. And so you can see here, he starts screaming and then the background smushes in. Okay, and now if you start the position going backwards before the zoom starts, you get this look. So you start to go backwards and then it all starts distorting from there. I thought this was the perfect painting to do this 3D camera trick on because it adds this weird vibe, you know, perfect for a screaming painting. And yeah, that's basically it. Once you have your camera moving backwards just like this, a little recap, you just click position keyframe on zoom, and then by the end of your keyframe, you try and match up the framing just by zooming in with your camera from the layers panel. And that's See how it looks. And it's very customizable, like even right here, I have it moving a little differently. All you have to do is just play around with the keyframes to achieve different looks with this effect, but essentially at the very bottom line, not at the very bottom line, the bottom line, you just need the keyframes of the camera moving backwards as the camera is zooming forwards. And bam, you get this beautiful parallax effect with a fake camera that lives in the fourth dimension. It's pretty cool. And now it's time to thank today's sponsor, Squarespace. From online stores to marketing tools and analytics, Squarespace is an all-in-one platform. Let's say you're a photographer. Well, Squarespace was built perfectly for you. They have award-winning designer templates in which you can display your photography. So you can use Squarespace as a portfolio and a gallery for your work. Show it off to the world in a professional way and make your work look even more impressive. Next, if you want to stay connected with all of your social medias through one website, you can do that. Squarespace has great connected services, so you can embed your Instagram, your SoundCloud, any of your social medias. So if people come to your website, they can also find your social medias. So stay connected with Squarespace. And lastly, if you're a numbers person and you really want to focus on your growth and the numbers of business, you can already tell that I'm not a numbers person. I don't even know how to talk about numbers. That's why I use Squarespace, because they have the best analytics anyone could ask for. They've got graphs. They've got charts. Stuff that us dumb artists can look at and be like, wow, I'm doing business. So if you want to make business fun, easy, and accessible, use Squarespace, because they have amazing analytics. See who's coming to your website, who's buying stuff, who's not coming to your website, etc. And the best part is I got you hooked up with a discount code. So if you go to squarespace.com/willcarmack, you'll get 10% off your first website or domain. Thanks for watching this video, and thanks for sponsoring Squarespace. Hope you learned something new today, and where there's a will, there's a way. My name is Will, and have a nice day. I don't know what I do with my hands anymore.